This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Haba. We're continuing Mishna Berura Daf Hashavua. We're learning Hilchos Tefillin, Siman Lamed Ches, Sif Ches. The Mechaber said that those who write Tefillin and the salesmen and the merchants all the way along the line, and anyone who's Oseik in any kind of Melecha Shamayim is Patur from putting on Tefillin the whole day, except for Zman Kriya Shema Tefillah. The Rama adds, let's read the Rama. Hagav, im hayu tzrichim la'asais malachtem b'shas Kriya Shema Tefillah, as p'tum Kriya Shema Tefillin, Tefillin. If they have to do their work at the time of Shema and davening, they're exempt from Kriya Shema and from Tefillah and from Tefillin. The Chol ha'Oseik b'mitzvah patur mi-mitzvah. Anyone who's Oseik in a mitzvah is exempt from a mitzvah mi-mitzvah acheres. Im tzarich l'troich achar acheres. So anyone who's involved in one mitzvah is patur from another mitzvah if he has to go and be busy and bother with the other mitzvah. If it's possible to get both of them done, then you do both of them. So let's see the Mishna Berura, Sivkatan Chavav, Tzrichen. What would the situation be where they need to do their work at the time of Kriya Shema? So this we saw yesterday. In other words, they have a buyer who wants to buy stam. The hakoina writes a lifrois bayam, and the buyer needs to go overseas, oy b'shayara achshav, or on a caravan. The efshaloi lahamtin, and he can't wait. Ad she'asoifer oy hatagar yikayim mitzvah achas shabali yadai. And he's not going to wait until the sofer or the merchant fulfills a mitzvah. Kagoin hanachas tefillin oy kriya shema v'adin shar kol hamitzvahs. Basically, the buyer's not going to wait until you need to daven. Therefore, it's permitted to write or to sell afal pi sha'ideza yaver zman hamitzvah b'ayim b'bir halacha. Very hard to understand that, why we would say Oseik b'mitzvah patur min hamitzvah in this situation. Because this guy needs to buy a pair of tefillin, therefore, I'm patur from wearing tefillin. What mitzvah is there to buy tefillin?
Bir halacha.
What?
Bir halacha.
In other words, what mitzvah am I being involved in? A mitzvah to sell tefillin? I mean, that's a good deed, but that's going to push off a chiyuv. Even on the buyer, there's no mitzvah to buy tefillin. It's only hechsher mitzvah. So the Bir Halacha says, "Tzrichim la'asais malachtan." I Mishna Berura Sivkatan Chavav she'atakti malavush ledina v'chimash l'chem lashon tzrichim shekasav Rama. That if you need to do your work, that's what the Rama is masha. Achkasha the kimah das Rama who kishitas around the Chumash b'sam ba'atzal around Patur b'chol gavnei im kvar hiskal lichtav k'may shemuchach b'beis Yosef. So what he seems to be bothered by is that it's only the source of this halacha is talking about if you already started writing it. He brings that perhaps this guy who needs to travel, he's going somewhere, he's not going to have time for many days, so then you can even start writing. Okay, and then the Bir Halacha says perhaps we're talking about a situation where he's anticipating many, many buyers. Otherwise, it's hard to conjure up a case that he can't pause for a moment to be mekayim the mitzvah of tefillin and Kriya Shema. Okay, let's continue on in the Mishna Berura. Az Paturin. Then you're patur from Shema u'tefillah. U'mayri shekvar hischel lichtov kodim shegia zman Kriya Shema. It's talking about we already started writing before the Zman Kriya Shema came. Avo mishigia zman also l'haskal lichtov. Once the time came, you can write Chumash kasav Siman ayin beis of beis ken kasav magen Avram. I don't understand why he needs to say that. We're talking about selling. Okay, that's what he says. However, based on the way we describe the case in the name of Lavush, that the buyer needs to travel, or go on a caravan, and he can't wait. He can't wait until the Sefer is Mekayim, Shema and Shemon Esrei. Parsha, it's obvious to Kulei Alma, according to everyone. Mutar haSefer lasos loy malachtai. It's permitted for the Sefer to do his malacha. Imhu mashar sheishar lo izman likros. If he could evaluate that enough time will be left to read. If he's able to read the first parsha, he should. In other words, we're talking about a situation where the buyer is, this is only window of opportunity to purchase. If he doesn't purchase now, he's going to be left without tefillin. So it doesn't have to be where the Sefer started writing before. It's the buyer came. It's and if you don't take care of the buyer, he's not going to have tefillin. Okay, so we say the rule is kol ha'oseik b'mitzvah patur min hamitzvah. What does this mean? It says Mishna Berura v'davka oseik b'mitzvah. That's only if you're actually involved in doing a mitzvah. For example, kugan b'shashu loy veishat tefillin. Let's say at the time he's wearing tefillin, or he's involved in, let's say, he found a lost object and he's required now to preserve it. For example, he has to spread it out for its own need. Let's say somebody finds a garment. So in order to be a halachic meishiv aveda, in the meantime, you need to take care of the aveda. You need to stretch it out. You have to actively return to the owner. So that's only your oseik b'mitzvah is you're actively putting on the tefillin or actively involved in returning the object. But we don't say oseik b'mitzvah at the time you're being mekayem a mitzvah. Only at the time you're doing a mitzvah. You're involved in the ma'aseh mitzvah. Let's say you're just wearing tefillin. Or you're just guarding the aveda. It's put in a box. Even though you're fulfilling a mitzvah by wearing tefillin, so look in the Biur Halacha that it explained further. Weiter. Im Sarach. If the other mitzvah requires tircha, you don't leave the first mitzvah. Even if going to be busy with the new mitzvah, you're not going to be mevatel the first mitzvah. Even if the second mitzvah is bigger. So in other words, it's not a matter of losing the first mitzvah. It's once you started with the first mitzvah, you don't abandon it. If it means that going to the second mitzvah is a asek. So in other words, it's not a matter of losing out on the first mitzvah or not fulfilling the first mitzvah by going to the second one. It's if the second mitzvah requires any kind of involvement, you're not required to be involved in such a thing. Okay, we're going to hold it over here. And I wish everyone a wonderful day. Kol tov.
What's the schedule? You going away sometime?
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.